Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a scene for the Living World of Darkness Street Magic Edition. Uh, we have Isis Share. She is reaching out to her tradition mates. She's lost, confused, and a little unsure about a lot of things that she's seen, and she is a flutter of thought and kind of lost is the best way to say it. She is going through the motions. Lucky for Isis, nobody has figured out how lost she is. She has tried particularly hard to look like she has everything under control, but truth be told, she's probably one of the most scared and vulnerable people right now. So she is going to reach out to the people that met her on her first night. The first night she um, felt the voice of the divine, and she's going to reach out to them again because, according to her logic, they are the only people who haven't betrayed her trust. And we'll start our scene there with Isis on her way to see ex Verbena lady.
The location that she was given in order to go find the Verbena is actually a place in Queens, one of the few still very nature touched places in New York City, the Botanical Garden.
Sweet.
The first thing that she's met with is a lovely place full of lots of green, lots of plants, flowers. It looks extremely well taken care of. Upon walking inside, the place appears to be frequented by a few fairly not very impressive looking people, all peaceful, enjoying themselves, but they don't look quite like they're cut from your stock. The further into the garden she wanders, however, she will soon come across the front building. It's a white, almost Grecian style building that has like a little sign on it. It has a gift shop and stuff of that nature. It looks like a very small, kind of a living room almost, in the midst of all of the nature.
With that, Isis will walk towards it, and she will smooth her hair back and smile. Uh, I need your help. She kind of stumbles out.
The person she's met with there, weirdly enough, she seems to think that she saw her just seconds ago wandering around the garden.
Mhm.
But she is a woman with very, very bright red hair and a sort of intense stare. She is currently organizing a few things on the shelves and actually filling up a watering can while she waits. When she's very suddenly asked for help, she turns over and sort of raises an eyebrow. Help? What with?
A lot's happened. She kind of like blurts out, you think I could help? Pointing at the water can.
She'll look at you and she walks over towards the front of the desk where you see a small thing of incense burning, and she'll waft the smoke a bit in a pattern around her finger, and she will take a look at you. After a moment of searching your features, searching the air around you, she'll smile a bit. Sure. And she will walk over and hand you both a bucket of fertilizer and the watering can.
Isis will pick it up, being that she owns a floor shop of her own. She will just kind of quickly follow suit. Not telling someone how to, maintain their own garden, but we'll just look to her and just follow her direction.
And she'll actually lead her not back into the botanical garden proper, but out behind it, where the place takes on a slightly more surreal feel. If you'd like to roll your awareness rating,
Just flat awareness.
perception awareness.
One.
You'll notice that this place has quite a bit of energy surrounding it. She walks, kicking off her shoes the moment they exit the building, and she'll turn around to smile. Mary met, sister. What can we do for you?
She'll smile, following her lead, and take off her shoes as well, hold them in her hands. Um, how she struggles with her words a bit. What do you do when you're confused? She says quite pointedly, I've been shown so many things, and it feels contradictory to what I know to be true.
What is it you've been told?
She sighs again. Are are mages really allies with one another, or is that just what we tell each other to make us feel better?
Her expression softens a bit. It's extremely complicated.
And guess what I'm asking is that I've seen some things that it's unnerving, almost frightening.
What
As
have what have you come to see?
she looks pensive, as it's role of perception, empathy. It's important. She's trying to get across a point, but she doesn't know how.
Three successes?
That works. If you've ever seen a little girl who knows that she's done something wrong, but is not exactly sure how to tell someone that she's done something wrong, but she's fully aware she's done something wrong.
There's no judgment to be had here, sister.
She looks at her again and says, I've been, I recently joined a chantry. Um, I sought camaraderie with a friend that I grew up with, and I've seen things that maybe I should tell someone about, but I don't want to. I'm not a warlock. She just says very pointedly. I don't want to betray my coven.
If what you've seen worries you so much, it wouldn't be an act of betrayal to seek help, even though it may feel that way. Things aren't always as they feel at first.
Isis will begin, very much so, unlike her, she will begin to cry. um, she is, it's one of those, for the past few months, she's just been holding a lot of it in. And I guess her talking about it now, it's coming to a front for Isis, and she's not aware of it just yet.
She'll approach and offer her a hug.
She'll hug her back.
I understand whatever's brought you here must have been phenomenally hard to deal with.
I don't, I don't know how else to be. I don't know how much I'm scared. I've never been so scared in my life. And the more I walk down this path, the more scared I become. And I put on a good front. They all just assume I'm a bitch, and I'm okay with that. But
Come follow me. And she will take her hand and she'll lead her towards the pond in the middle of the very bright colored glade. And she'll sit on the edge of it and dip her bare feet in.
mhm,
And she'll pat the ground next to her.
she'll take a seat.
And there she will point to the extremely clear waters and the life that lives within it.
Hmm.
Do you think that these fishes, or even the stream itself, do you think they stress about what they're supposed to be?
No, but we're so much we're so much more complicated than that. She kind of lets out in a huff.
We like to make ourselves more complicated than that. But at the root of things, do you truly think you can be anything that you aren't already?
I want to be a good person. I just don't know if I am, or if that's just what I'm telling myself.
What makes you think you're not?
From what I've seen, it's majors are told that we're supposed to be a standalone entities, learning and making our own path towards whatever this existence is. And I feel that she just helps again. That I know I'm going in circles, and I want to I want to be accepted for who I am and not be assumed to be something else. And I feel that if I tell you this, then they won't understand my fear. They'll just see me as a betrayer, and I'll be further ostracized from a community that I don't even understand fully.
Have you expressed all of this to your coven?
They're so preoccupied, she says, with their own projects. That's a nice way of saying it. That I think they've all seemed to have forgotten that I don't know what I'm doing, even though I understand what I've been taught throughout the years. But she just shakes her head in like all honesty. I'm just sort of winging it. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, at least not intentionally.
If you come here seeking guidance, then I'm not here to pass judgment, sentence you to any punishment for a crime. Young young mages are bound to make mistakes, are bound to make mistakes that are more dangerous than they realize. 'Tis why those of us who aren't self-awakened are tutored so strongly, so closely. But all the preventative measures in the world can't guarantee nothing will happen.
She takes another breath and she says, I saw something. Um, a few months ago, uh, there were, at least what I heard, is that there was someone, I guess, on a telephone who was doing things.
Of what sort?
Um, she bites her lip. The it we were in a coffee shop and it was all pretty fine. Um, we were laughing and talking, and there was this girl who was Not normal, not normal, but mentally she was a little off, and I there was this junkie who basically barged in and started screaming, and it it all happened so fast. Um, there we went to look, and um, I I saw something.
She nods. She seems to be staring down into the pool of water as you speak.
It, she bites her thumb, and it was I don't maybe she's I'm it's different. Um, I know some things about spirits, but not a whole lot. And frankly, I'm not sure what I saw.
Was it a spirit that you made contact with through this phone?
I I didn't make contact through the phone. Um, I and another friend, once they said that they were doing this thing, we weren't going to get involved because it seemed as if I wasn't sure about what was happening, and he seemed less sure. So I thought it would be the best to not say something. He,
The spirit that they contacted, what did it look like? How did it behave?
it, um, there were lots of flickering lights, and it, this girl, she, it wasn't, it looked as if it was going to, it didn't look nice.
In what way?
And in the way you look at someone and you just have a feeling about them, sort of like almost a gut hunch that you shouldn't deal with this.
In most of those cases, it's very smart to trust your instinct. Did they do anything with it?
Um, Perception, empathy. Isis is she's starting to clam up because she's getting to the meat of it.
She'll reach out and put her hand on her shoulder.
Damn. um, it. I if I tell you this, I'm more than certain they'll hate me, and
Sorry.
something terrible will happen. I'm more than certain, and they'll blame me for it.
I would counter that by saying that something worse may happen if you all keep it a secret.
Then I'll be without a home. She looks like almost penitent, like with the amount of successes you got, that is the deepest fear right now.
Why do you think you would be without a home? If they're truly all just young mages making a mistake, they may get punished, but whatever it is would be nothing compared to what may happen if they try to keep it a secret. Spirits are powerful, infinitely fickle creatures. At the very least, we are somewhat predictable.
She sighs again. Um, it. She sighs again, and it. I wasn't exactly sure with what I was watching, but she, Naomi,
Hmm.
made a deal, and she bled on the floor.
Blood is a common payment. What
And
was the deal?
there was no counter to it. It was she sent this thing out to hurt someone.
I see.
And I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it I wanted to tell them that I was scared and that I was unsure, but they all kind of left like it was okay. And then it was never spoken of again. Is that okay? Maybe I'm just being wrong.
Even a standing deal with a spirit of that nature can turn out to be quite dangerous. You're familiar with the law of return, yes?
Well, the Wiccan understanding of it, I mean, whatever you put out comes back three times fold. It's pretty basic.
She nods. There's a very real chance that something equally or even more so terrible may happen to her for doing this.
I don't know. It was.
Would it be possible to find this spirit again?
I know where it was. She shakes her head.
Can you take me to it? Or bring it here?
I could take you.
She will stand up and head away from the pool. But she'll walk back towards other parts of the glade, having not forgotten the fertilizer in the water. Is there anything else you can tell me about it for now?
Um, when Naomi made the deal, the spirit was able. It put its hand in my cabal mate's head, and she got really quiet, and she looked scared. And you really can't just bring that up to someone because I wasn't really sure what I saw. And how do you bring something like that up?
At times, some things you just have to ask bluntly. There's very rarely a nice way to ask somebody if something happened to their head. Did
Maybe
she seem to be helped by it? Or hurt?
only thing I know is that right, um, it's not there. They took it. Um, they wanted to befriend it
Mm-hmm.
and have it eat ice cream. She shrugs.
It's a very odd form of chimnage, considering what was asked of it.
I don't know. I don't know what I saw. She just shrugs like. but it definitely didn't seem like. Well, let me just show you where it was, and you can figure it out. I'm lost.
Very well then. And once all of the fertilizer is like packed around some of the trees, she will stand up and head back towards the entrance. She washes her hands in like a bowl of water and slips on her sandals.
And Isis will take her back to the coffee shop where it was and what she saw to the bathroom stall and where the phone was.
She will step towards the mirror, and out will come a lighter and a small bit of sage, and she'll just wave it around it very quickly so as hopefully not to set off the fire alarm.
Hmm.
Whatever this is not the type of spirit that I'm used to dealing with. This isn't a child of nature. It's a very. She peers closer, runs her hand over the writing where it's carved. Has a very decay-like resonance to it.
So, what does this mean?
Whatever it is, does not appear to be benevolent. It's difficult to tell from its trail whether it's malevolent or simply death tainted, but it may very well, had your friend made deals with it, open gates to morbidity.
Okay.
Have your friends been showing any odd signs around them since they've made this deal?
Um, mm, not that I could see, but it's it's hard to say. Um, Naomi is temperamental. She shrugs.
More so than usual? And in what way?
Uh, it's hard to explain, but it doesn't seem any different than normal. If you consider chugging like lots of vodka as normal, then she shrugs.
I wouldn't call it normal, but I don't know this Naomi person. What about any of the others?
They seem kind of okay, but I'm to tell you the truth, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't see anything different though. I don't think it's gotten too far, but this is definitely a thing that, you know, I just don't want them to know that I don't want them to know that you know that I know, if that makes any sense. She looks at you.
She nods. For now, without knowing anything about this entity, I would suggest keeping an eye on them, on both their normal behavior and their spiritual side.
She,
And if
sh-
you notice anything wrong, be sure to point it out.
she says, okay.
They may not react nicely to being told something's wrong, but it'll be what's best for them. And if they truly look like whatever this is corrupting them, you can bring them back to me and we'll try to help.
She shakes her head, you know, hugs her again.
She'll give her a hug. If you make contact with this thing again, be sure to keep some sage around so that you can banish it if it becomes dangerous.
Okay.
She'll actually reach into her purse and there's about a half bundle of sage. It looks like it's mostly been burnt through.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll take it and press it into Isis's hand. This should work in an emergency.
All right. I can come back if there's something wrong.
Of course you can. And if you need anything else from us,
There's one more thing. Um, uh, how um how does one work with the physical? I don't understand how to work with the physical side of my magic. She says, in the sense that the matter of it. I don't understand how that works in conjunction to everything else. If that makes any sense.
she smiles a bit. Are you looking for lessons?
She nods.
I think we can help with that. There's another member of my shop by the name of Medea. She's quite adept at that side of things. If you'd like to come back and help around a bit, I'm sure we can schedule some lessons as well.
That'll be good. She shakes her head.
Great. I hope you're comfortable working with animals.
I guess I'll learn. She shrugs.
Great. So, why don't you come back after the weekend's over? We'll get you scheduled.
Okay. And with that, Isis will put on the mask that she puts on in front of everyone that she's in control, and she will throw her shoulders back and walk with a stride.
And Morgan will follow her up until the point where they part.
Mhm.
And she'll leave her with, "Don't worry, sister. It's a messy, imperfect life, but we are strong enough to handle it."
She shakes her head.
She'll smile back at her, and she will turn and hum and walk her way back to the Verbena chantry.
Isis will turn and walk her way back to today is a high holiday, so she will go and meet with her cult for witchy things. And that, ladies and gentlemen, unless the ST has something to do, we can end our scene there.
Mhm.